for the Q&A session at the end. Nigel, I see that you're not mute. Just be mindful of not talking.
It's all right, his microphone's not on. But yeah, basically we're going to try and keep the microphones off for the time being just while we do our presentation. And then we'll have a live Q&A session at the end where you can feel free to ask questions. So yeah, we're going to go on for our spiel for the next, whatever, half an hour, let's say, 40 minutes, something like that. And then we'll have the Q&A session. So yeah, welcome guys. Thanks for being here.
And I think that Kevin is about to launch his presentation so that we can have all the same thing to look at the same time. It should be happening soon.
Yeah, hello everybody. Sorry for my French accent. I didn't have the English of William and Thomas, but I'm gonna try my best. And yeah, I just share my screen. Normally, you will have a pop-up on my name that says "View the stream," something like this. And oh, I didn't open it. And I'm gonna share.
Don't look too much at
my
the desktop screen. Don't look at the mess too much.
And
so yeah, is everybody on the screen? I think we've got 9 people right now. I think, is that how many there are of us in here? Maybe a bit more. But yeah, if you just click on HexaTrek Kevin's name, it should say watch the stream. Or if you look on the left of your channel chat, it should have his name that says live at the top left.
Yeah, maybe Kevin, you can put back Discord channel so that people can see on your screen where they should click.
Yes.
If they haven't seen, yeah, you should see. Yeah, on the top left there should be watch the stream or regarder le stream if you are in French weirdly and you're still there in English. I have no idea why. Why would you do that, weirdo? But yeah, that should give you the same screen as everybody else.
If someone didn't see the presentation, he can unmute and say that he have a problem. Otherwise, we will start.
Yep.
Yeah, just first of all, a huge thank you for being here, and also for almost all of you, I think, was a contributor to the campaign. And actually, this project started a year ago in my mind, but it really started for real when all the contributors help us to build what we are building right now. So it's the first time I can say it by direct voice. So a huge thank you to everybody, and I can't wait to meet you all on the trail. It will be a beautiful year, this 2022 year, and I'm counting the day and months before the starting date. So yes, thank you so much. Yeah, Thomas, maybe you with your English you will
yeah.
You can talk about the HexaTrek. I'm gonna rest and listen.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, maybe you can switch then the next page so that we can see. It's just going to be like a very small presentation. I guess you are all up to speed on what the HexaTrek is and isn't. So what it is a trek. It is a trek that is made for literally everybody, and it is a trek that already exists. For a few numbers, you see that we are going through 10 regional parks. We're going to assume that you don't know much about France. Maybe some of you live in France. Maybe some of you already know about France. But we're going to talk broadly because we are an international crowd. So 10 regional parks, 4 national parks. So that's a lot of parks with a lot of nature. Actually, if you look at the line of the HexaTrek and if you compare it to the density of population in France, you will see that the HexaTrek is following the lowest density of population in France. So this is the line that we thought was the best to explore France wilderness and backcountry. So you will have the chance to be mostly in the wild, and this is important for because first of all it's a hike. Come on, this is the point of a hike. It's to be in the wild, and second of all because we want to make sure that you can bivouac. So tent, plenty of tent as much as possible. And France law on tenting is a bit different than anywhere else, but then again, every country has their own laws. But in France, it can be complicated. We have regional and local and communal and a lot of things that enter in it, and we try to maximize it. And if I'm not miscorrect, I think it's like 71% of the entire trek that is illegal to camp. Well, legal to bivouac, and bivouac means that you have to put your tent at sundown, and then go before the sun is up. So basically, just for just one night, and you don't do much, and be very discreet about it. But we can talk about that later. 136,000 meters of positive and negative on the trek. So yeah, get ready for your legs. It's going to be a lot of mountain, around 3,034 kilometers if you go in a straight line, but at some point you will want to go to pee, so that will probably go in the sides. So you add a few kilometers for peeing.
Probably even more,
and tenting. Yeah, maybe a little bit more, yeah. And a bit more if you want to go number 2. We never know. 534 communes. It is just a big number. It's just nice to know, but it's not very useful for you guys. And 6 stages. 6 stages. Basically, you don't have to do the HexaTrek in its entirety. You can go for one of the 6 stages, and then you can come back every year in France just to do one of those stages. So those are like the basic numbers. One thing that is very important to know about the HexaTrek right now is this will be the first edition. So everything that we are saying right now is hypothetical theory. We know on paper how it is. We don't know on the trek how it's going to be really. So if you want to do the HexaTrek in its entirety right now, you have to remember that this is not an installed trek. This is something that we know it's possible. We don't know how it's possible yet. So it's good to have some kind of experience on it. And most importantly, it's good if you can be responsible for yourself. Because on the trek, you will be by yourself. We cannot vouch for anything else than just the trek exists. All of the treks in France, all of the GR, donc Grande Randonnée, this is the name of the big hiking trails in France, are of extremely good condition. They are all well maintained, and we're using a ton of those to make the HexaTrek. So we're not building anything. The trek already exists. It is already on the ground. But how the transitions are done is up to the special sauce, and we are not sure exactly how it's going to be once we hike it. We have a lot of people who actually started to hike some portions of it, and we have like good feedback from them, but we never really know. So be mindful of that. We're not going to send you in something that is highly made, like the Appalachian Trail or the PCT or one of those big treks. This is really for pioneers. That's why we call it the Walk of Pioneers for the first year. You have to have this mentality and be flexible. Be ready to adapt to a lot of things. We will answer a lot of your questions as best as we can, but the more years we're going to have, the more data we're going to have, and the more precise we will be in our answers. For the moment, it's more speculations on a lot of things and just the legal standpoint that we can really discuss with you guys. So you will not see. Yeah.
Just in addition, is France have this chance of being an historical country of hiking, and we are actually one of the country, if I don't mistake, that have the most trail in his country, a kilometer trail.
Accumulated, yeah.
Yes,
If you take all the hiking trails, we have the most kilometers of trail in the world.
So, and all those trails are super well maintained by a lot of association and a lot of volunteers. So myself, I already hike a lot of part of HexaTrek, and I never see in real ground something that was not what I saw on the map. And effectively, I used during 6 months a map in order to a software map in order to build this trail, in order to know where you can camp, where you cannot, where are some difficult portion. And honestly, I think it will not have too many surprises. It's just that this year, this first year, for example, at the moment, we are going to pass through gorges. And one of the last year, I had the chance of someone that wanted to cross France by foot, and he discovered my project. So I give him the GPX in advance, and he hiked almost all the trail. And he said that everything was perfect. It's just that at one moment the water was too high, so I was not able to be on this trail because it's in a narrow gorge. And we say gorge, Thomas?
Yeah,
Gorge, yeah, gorge is fine.
Gorge. So basically, we have already good return. It's just that, yeah, it's the first year, and all of your feedback will help us to develop a better trail and to continue marking the trail and so on. But the mobile app that I'm going to show after will answer, I think, most of your questions.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the important disclaimer, is that basically for this first edition, it's season 1, episode 1. You're more than welcome to be part of the adventure. We hope you are going to be. But yeah, it's going to be, we're looking for more sort of an independent hiker. Keep an open mind. We value your feedback very much because that's going to help us for years to come. So hopefully in future years, we'll have the information that you're all asking questions for in Discord. For the time being, it's all in construction, so we're doing what we can with what we know. So we're going from that theoretical phase of what Kevin's imagined to the actual physical phase of it existing in the real world, of it being signposted, of it having a place to stay and all that kind of stuff. All of these things are in development, partnerships with different places to stop off, whether it's bakeries or supermarkets or all these reference things that we're going to show you in a second in the app. Yeah, it's all in development. So feedback is more than welcome. It's not required as such, but you know, we count on everybody who's going to be participating in this first run to be active and to help out as much as they can with their feedback. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And speaking of which, I think we can go now on the application. So you're going to need, for sure, a smartphone to hike this trail. We're going to give you a GPX for free, but we also developed like a premium application that you can use. And if you've been part of the campaign, you already have it, probably, and you will receive it as soon as it's available. But otherwise, you can always get it on the app stores when it will be available. And now we're going to switch. So if you've been following this stream, now you need to follow another stream. I know it's complicated. You have to click on the HexaTrek test 1. So as you can see right now on the stream, you click on that one. Regardez le stream. It's watch the stream, I think, in English. Or
yeah, basically you've got to quit the screen that you're watching right now. So to quit the screen, you click on stop watching, big red button in the lower middle. And then there's a new account called HexaTrek-test1 that is also live. So I think we've got 7 people on it right now. 8 people on it right now.
And on this screen, we're going to show you actually how the app works, because you're lucky. We're not a lot of people, so this time we can actually display it live. It's a first in the world. We never actually showed that live.
This didn't work. This didn't work for the French people.
Yeah, it's live in public. I mean, come on. This is a preview like never seen before.
Okay, if someone don't see the test, HexaTrek test, didn't see my mobile app screen, just unmute and say it. Otherwise, I'm gonna start to present.
I'd say probably quit your other live on your desktop for the time being, so then people aren't on it.
Yeah,
that might be a good idea.
Yeah. Stop the other.
Okay.
Stop your laptop one.
Éteindre.
Yep. Voilà. So now, everybody, if you look on your left-hand side, you should only see one more channel that's live right now, which is HexaTrek-1, and click on Watch the Stream to follow the app. What we've been working on all this time.
Okay, so first of all, the app is gonna be in English. It's just that right now I was focusing on the French, and we are very, very, very close for iPhone and Android to finish developing this app, and we are gonna take all this database and translate it in English. So, oops, see?
Uh-oh, that's not good.
I know it's just because I was not touching my screen.
Please don't panic.
I'm on panic.
In the plane. Everything
Share.
is going to be all right.
Yep. coming back. Sorry. Up. Get it.
Please come back on the stream.
Yeah, it seems to be working now.
So yeah, the mobile app will be fully in English, and it will be normally available beginning of April, which is few months before the advising starting date. We're gonna talk about in which direction and at which date is best to strike the HexaTrek, but it will be ready few months before that, so you will be able to download it, and the app is completely free to install. The stuff that is payable are the section of the trek. If you, as Thomas said, if you participate to the campaign, you will receive an access for free. And in every stages, you will have first to download all the data offline, because we knew that in France you will have a lot of network, but the last thing you want when you thru-hike is to don't have any network and not be able to see the map. And also it will allow you to put all the application in flight mode, so it will save you some battery, and it will cut you from the world, Instagram, Facebook. So having your phone in your pocket will not mean that you have to stay connected, because you will be able to download everything offline, and after just use your iPhone or Android. So first you are gonna arrive to a menu where you will see all the stages that is available. So 6 stages, and you will have one at the top, which mean, sorry for the translation, but it mean HexaTrek full parcours, and you will see all the information you need, the distance, a lot of text in order about that is talking about what you are gonna see on the trail, the detail of the map. But for most of you, you already know where to start, where to end, what is the best way for arriving to the departing or the arriving places, by train, by plane, and so on. And you will be able to download it. So by clicking on this button, I already did it, but normally the button at the bottom is blue and said download it. And when you download it, you will have it here, and you will find all the section. And for example, if I'm going on this section, so that is actually where I'm living right now, because I'm living very close to Chamonix.
He's a real man from the mountains.
Don't zoom in all the stalkers all straight.
This section, the stage 2, is passing just close to my place. And so you will have so this is just the stage 2. But of course, when you finish stage 2, you will go back here and you say, okay, now I want to show stage 3, and the stage 3 is going to open. I'm going to do it for stage 4 in order to show that it's working. But all the time, a stage is 500 kilometers. So you are going to stay normally in the same stages for almost 3 weeks. And how the mobile app is working is you will be able to so my position is a little bit far from the trail, but normally you will be always on the trail. The trail is going to be green or red if green is allowed to bivouac, and red it will be forbidden to bivouac. For example, here is very clear. The map show me that here is the beginning of a natural reserve, and when I'm entering in this natural reserve, I'm not able to bivouac anymore. And when I'm exiting the natural reserve, I will be able to bivouac. You will also find all the information about refuge. So I'm just clicking on this red button here, which is all the established refuge, host, camping, all the place where you will have to pay, but you can stay, find having restoration, shower and stuff like this. Most of them can also allow you to bivouac. So for example, we have a national park that is very close here. For example, Vanoise National Park. It's a national park where you will not be able to bivouac at all in the whole national park. But most of the places will say that you can stay and you can bivouac close to the refuge. Otherwise, in France, we are lucky because we have a lot of places where it's called unguarded refuge. and it's completely free, open all year, and some are in very, very bad condition, but some are in very, very good condition. And you will always know how many places is normally how many places are available to sleep, and what you will find inside all those places. You will find all the place where you can find water. The heart in yellow will be all the places that is unmissable. So, for example, this lake is a beautiful lake, and you also have all the viewpoints, all the most beautiful villages, monuments, all the stuff that have an interest on the trail will be in yellow. What else? You will have in orange. It's all the place where you can find food, so all the resupply. Um, what else? It missed something. I think it's the gray point. Gray point. Gray point will be all the intersection or difficult difficult part of the trail, and he will say, for example, for the next 100 kilometer, now you can just follow the white and red sign because it's called GR44, and that will allow you to shut down your phone completely if you want, and just follow those signs that are already existing. What else? Yeah, I think that's all for the point of interest. You will also have, so right now I'm too far from the trail, but when I'm clicking on this bottom right button, it will say to me at which kilometer I'm on this stage. So for example, right now I can be at 50 kilometer on the 300 kilometer. It will say also the elevation, and it will say exactly why it's allowed to camp or why it's not allowed. It will say, for example, it's a private land, or it's a land that is it's a protected land, or stuff like this. And when it's authorized, it's gonna say it's authorized for this reason, and it's authorized, but you will have to stay just one night at this place. Or so yeah, you will have all those information like this. Yeah, I think it's
I think that's
much.
pretty much covered. I dare say that for those of you who have already done long distance hikes or have used different hiking applications, you'll find yourself there. There's a few things that we've added in that we think were lacking from other apps.
Yeah, William, I just forgot the most important functionality that took me 6 months to develop. It's when you click on something, it will actually say the distance that is separating you from this place, the elevation plus and the elevation minus. So right now it's a little bit fucked up because I'm too far, but actually because I was using Gaduk far out now in Pacific Crest Trail, and I, I get inspired a lot about Gaduk because it was so useful. And basically, I'm just planning every day. And if I wake up here at this lake, I just check, for example, this point here, for example, this green bivouac place, and I can see that it's 16 kilometer. And I say, yeah, today I want to do 16 kilometer. Let's go there. Or I want to go in a place where bivouac is allowed, so I'm going to check here and say, oh, 22 kilometer, maybe I can do it. And that was the most important for us. It's allow you to prepare your hike day after day and not prepare in a month in advance. So all the distance and elevation will be calculated by just clicking on a point compared to your position actually.
Yeah, like really, what you understand from this app is that it's a premium experience really for the trek. It's really getting stress free onto the HexaTrek to have it. A lot of the work has already been done for you. As we said, you have to be a pioneer, and you can be with just a GPX and going with another app. That's up to you. But this one makes it way easier to be a pioneer, and yeah, you have a lot of information that took a lot of time to collect, and yeah, it's really useful for especially for the first year. It's going to be hard to do without. It's possible. It's just going to be hard. And this one is really like the premium experience. But most of you already have it, so you know, once sold, stop selling, as we say. So don't worry, it's going to be fun. You're going to love it. And and Kevin worked his ass off on it, so he's very proud of it, and we understand. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, we're going
Rightfully
to have
so.
it.
Rightfully so. It's a really nice
Yeah,
app.
yeah. I mean, look at it. It's fancy as fuck. Um,
Yeah, just one last thing. So the
See?
trail will be always in green or red, but we also add all the trails that is actually existing around the trail. So, for example, if here you want to absolutely see this place, and after you want to drink something at Buvette d'été des Croisettes, you will be able to find your way back to the trail because all the other trail like a normal hiking map, but you will always find another path in order to connect if you are not a real true hiker that didn't follow all the trail and one day you want to cut, you will be able to do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting a beer at the Buffet d'été des Croisettes.
It sounds like a lovely
Um,
place.
yeah. Also, talking about the side trails, you are in France, so you are never really lost in nature without you wanting it. So, as we said previously, we have a ton of hiking trails of extremely good conditions. So, if at any point you have a problem and want to go back to civilization, you will never like further than 1 day of walking, pretty much, except maybe on some sections, but it's really rare. You will always have access to whenever you want to civilization, so it's never in a situation where you are in grave danger. But still, it's mountain. Some places don't have network, some places are remote, so be mindful of that. But in general, if you have a problem, for example, I don't know, your shoes are broken, your tent is broken, something is broken, you want to fix it, change it, whatever, you can always go back using one of those side trails to go back to civilization, and you will find a small village, and maybe the small village will have a bus that will get you somewhere, or somebody that is nice enough and has a Renault Twingo that will take you anywhere else. So that's one of the things to keep in mind. You're never really dead. I think we can go back to the presentation if you don't have
Yeah.
Yeah,
anything.
just one thing to add. Normally, it will have another button. It will have another button that will allow you to filter all those points of interest. Because when I zoom out, it creates. It have too many points, so I had to do that in order to show it properly. But for example, for the resupply strategy, you will be able to filter and just see just the resupplying points, and you will see the gap, and that will prepare you to say, okay, at this moment, maybe I will need 3 or 5 days of food with me. We just have maybe 4 or 5 sections where 5 days of you will need more, maybe more than 5 days of food in your backpack. Normally, it's pretty okay every 2 or 3 days, but you will be able to see that, and also for the resupply water strategy by just filtering and zoom out and just see the water point or the resupply point.
Yeah,
I
pretty
think
much.
I think another important thing about the app, I'm not sure if anybody noticed, but when you click on like the refuge, it gives you a link directly to the website to contact the
Yeah.
refuge directly, so you can get prices automatically and get the phone numbers and get whatever. So might have a quick demonstration of that, but basically saying that whenever you're trying to book in advance, it's very easy to do. You just think, oh, this one's in whatever 50 kilometers time. You click on it, there you go. The page opens up. It's on the of the thing directly, and you get the contact details directly from the website. There you go. Perfect. Call the person, sort your night out, done.
And it's also work for the places. I hope it's gonna be a good one. And so that is all the free places. Yeah, that's the kind of places you can find for free. And it will always be the same website that is fantastic in France, and it provides a lot of information, comment, and stuff. So you will always have like a link to see in advance if you want to sleep there or not.
Yeah, and it looks absolutely disgusting right now when you check the refuge, the little cabin. But trust me, when you're on top and you're tired and it's raining, it's cold, whatever, even the shittiest place with just 4 walls and a roof, it's like a palace. So yeah, don't worry about that. When you see them, it looks like horror, but you will look worse. So you will love them. Let's continue with the presentation. We don't have a lot of other things to tell you guys. Just when to leave. We're going to go back
Yeah.
on the stream of
Yeah.
Kevin. Yeah, if you can come back to the stream of Kevin. Now this one is dead. The 5 popular questions. Then I know that William will have a few other questions to add. When to leave, in which direction, and for how long? Well, that depends on one thing depends only on you, and the other is the nature of the trek. So it's a long trek, so obviously you cannot go whenever you want if you want to hike it without any fuss. It is a summer trek. You have Nobo and Sobo. So Nobo northbound, going to the north, so starting in Hendai, starting close to the ocean, and going north. This will set you to start directly in the Pyrenees. So we're talking about quite big mountains at the very beginning. So you have to be in good physical condition to tackle it directly. And this one, you have to start it mid-June. We have approximately mid-June. I know that Kevin is going to start his hike Nobo, and he will start the 15th of June for this reason. Because before that, you have the risk to be blocked by the snow in the Pyrenees. And the snow can last for quite a long time. So you have to do that this way, and you take a little bit more of your time because the end of the trail, the 500 last kilometers, are mostly flat, not flat, but like not high mountains, so the snow shouldn't be a problem. So if you're a slower hiker, that can be a nice option, but still be mindful of the very steep beginning in the Pyrenees. That can be hard. And really, beginning of June would be the earliest we would advise to go. But then again, we don't know. It depends also on the years. Some years we have snow, some years we have less snow. This depends on a lot of factors. If you go Sobo, so southbound, which is the one that a lot of people think about mostly because it's true that you end up at the sea, which is very nice, and you start in Wissenberg, which is a random place. That's true. When you look at the map, Wissenberg looks like there. But Wissenberg, we're going to put a nice start time. It's going to be sexy thanks to us. But yeah, if you start in Wissenberg, you can start a little bit earlier because then again, you have those 500 kilometers that are snow-free most of the time. So you can also start there slower because you can build your trail legs for a long time before arriving to the Alps. And you can start a little bit before that. So May can be possible. We don't know exactly when. But be very be very clear that you have to reach the Pyrenees before a certain point because the Pyrenees will be covered in snow. It depends when. October, November, it can happen already. So you have to be quite fast. Not fast, but quite fast. Talking about being fast or not, there are like two options. You can run it. That's crazy. That's insane. But you will do it in a month. But you're an insane person if you do that.
I don't think the average person here is thinking of running it.
I know. But maybe there is a crazy person.
One, at least one.
There might be one.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, kudos to you. You're a superhuman.
People aren't wearing Iris Van Herpen dresses on the red carpet. Red carpet dresses now are really boring, and then you look at what Iris Van Herpen.
I think somebody's got their microphone on.
Yeah, Mimir, I think your microphone is up and you don't know about it. We're just going to mute you for the time and unmute you for the Q&A. So yeah, average time would be 25 kilometers per day. And if you do 25 kilometers per day, you do it in 4 months. So that's, we think, is an average. We think this is what the average person is going to do. If you're a machine and you can do way more than that, 30 kilometers per day gives you 3 months, 35, etc., you shorten the period. It's a long trail, so we advise as well to take some rest days. It is said to be about 1 rest day every week, so that you can recharge a little bit because it's going to be very hard on you. And it's also a trek. You're not there to suffer, so you don't have to, run. 25 kilometers is really doable. I am a terrible hiker. I am absolutely a garbage of a hiker, but I know I can do the 25 kilometers a day by having some sections where you will put way more miles and some sections where you will put less, especially in the mountains. It's an average, so don't worry too much about that. It's completely doable, but it's true. It's a sport act, so you should be very wary of that. And I think that covers this first question. I don't know if you want to add something, Kevin, because I see you moving your head.
No. I'm listening.
Okay.
No. I think it's pretty well summarized. June to October is a window, and yeah, the as you said, the last 500 kilometer up north is way more secure if you really want to finish the trail and you don't want to speed, because on the other side you can really not start too early, because I'm living in Chamonix and the maximum elevation point on the whole trail is Montbuet, very close to Chamonix, which is 3,000-meter elevation. And last year in June it was still covered of snow, end of June. So that's the most extreme point, but yeah, you will have to cross the Alps at this moment, and you will have to maintain your speed in order to make sure that it will not snow again in Pyrenees, because you don't want that. So both way are good, and I think if you really are a fast hiker, more than 25 kilometers a day, it's good to go north to south. And if you schedule less than 25, the other sense will be more secure.
Yeah, and if there is a summit that is covered in snow, if there is a section that is too difficult because of the moment you are in, don't hesitate to just take another route. We are not absolutist. We will still validate, like it's purely on principle. We'll still validate your HexaTrek if you didn't do all the big ones, because what really matters is just to get to the end point. So if there is a section that is too complicated and too difficult, or that the weather doesn't let you go for it, then don't worry. You can always find an alternative route, and also in the app, some alternative routes are proposed.
Yep.
But in general, like the trail system in France, like the network is so well made that you will always find a way to go around an obstacle. So don't you worry about that if you're facing this kind of difficulty. The budget. Oh, that's a tough one. So the budget. If you are rich, you're going to have an amazing time on the HexaTrek. If you plan a budget of 6,000 euros, let's say, for the entire trek without the equipment, without the gear, you're going to have a very good time. That's around 50 euros per day on the HexaTrek, and that will help you to eat better, to sleep better, which is the most important, because nights in cabins and in mountain huts can be quite expensive, especially if you take the meal there and the breakfast there. It's going to be quite a lot of money. So that would be like a top budget, we would say, 6,000 euros. If you manage to spend more than that, well done, congratulations! Thank you for helping our economy. But I don't see. I mean, you really have to stretch it to try and spend more than that. If you are a low-cost walker, such as myself, we think that with 10 to 20 euros a day, it's doable. That means that you will mostly be in your tent. That means that you will mostly eat something that you bought at the supermarket or local bread. One thing is nice is that you will have a lot of excellent products, and that's the only reason I'm in this project ever, is just to eat all the excellent products on the way. I'm talking about the cheese, I'm talking about the bread, I'm talking about the saucisson, I'm talking about the ham, I'm talking about all the insanity that French people have invented just to be happy to be alive, and of course the wine, and a lot of craft beers along the way as well. I mean, it's... So all those products are not that expensive. The bread in France is not that expensive and will be amazing. And technically, you can take a loaf of bread for 3 days in your backpack. It's going to be good. It's going to replenish you, and you will be avoiding to eat semoule. I don't know how you say.
There's nothing wrong with couscous.
It is very, very, very wrong when you can have bread. But no, I mean it can be a gourmet trek even for a fraction of the price, because you will find the local producers as well where you're going to walk. You will find the guy who makes the cheese next to the trail. So that's something that you can find in almost all the villages in France, and that's something you can count on.
And it's worth budgeting that into your account, because it will transform your experience.
Yeah, stay in your tent, but eat well, please. I mean, it would be insane not to. You're in the place to eat well. Just do it. Get fat. You will not get fat even. I mean, you can't even get fat. You're walking too much.
It's
to get
all
fat.
free when you're hiking.
Yeah. If you don't eat a minimum of 3 kilograms of cheese on the entire thing, I think you're mental. But no. So on the budget side, we would say yes, 10 to 20 euros a day. So I didn't make the calculation.
So
but,
on average, that's 35 euros a day. If you're sort of in between the cheap hiker and the gourmet hiker, about 35 euros a day. That's about 4,200 euros for the entire trek. That's an average. Obviously, your mileage may severely vary depending on the experience that you're looking for. I think think all three of us are probably budgeting less than that.
Yeah.
But I also think that we're pretty experienced with hiking options, food options, all that kind of stuff. So
being
Yeah, I think that
frugal.
in general.
by saying by day is better because you can spend 4 days by just spending €10, and at one moment you just crack and you just want a shower and you just want to eat a pizza and you just want to make yourself pleasure. So you can say today it's a day at $50 and €50. Sorry, I'm still on the Pacific Coast Line, and I'm gonna personally manage like this. Like I'm gonna maybe go at the lower budget for 4 days, and I'm gonna really give myself a good day every 5 days or stuff like this.
Yeah, town days. Enjoy it when you're in the town, but eat cold food when you're in the hills. But yeah, cold food in France can be nice. Nice mountain meats and breads and all that kind of stuff. Cold food doesn't have to be.
If you don't know about saucisson yet, you're going to be a worshipper of saucisson when you are in France. And if you're vegetarian, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, because you're going to miss something extraordinary. Also on the budget, just to finish on the budget, always have some more money than your budget. Like Kevin said, sometimes you're going to crack and just want something nice and comforting. So and something can break, something can hurt you, anything can happen. So always bring more money just in case. And cash, take a lot of cash, because in the mountains they don't take the credit cards. In the villages you will have no problems, but in the mountains it's difficult, because if they have no network they cannot work with the credit card. Although it's more common now thanks to COVID. Yeah, we can thank COVID for things, because contactless payments were a thing and cash was not very COVID friendly. But still, in the mountains, take some cash, be ready with some cash. Will the trail be marked? No. That's it. That's done.
Yes.
That actually the trail. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have some marking. We are working on it right now. It's very complicated because of jurisdiction in France, and it's really difficult even to find the people to ask the permissions to. But our plan for the moment is to make 300 little this is a preview that you should not have seen. We want to make some little panels, some little with our amazing emblem that we are both in love, all of us in love with. And these panels should be every 30 kilometers, if I'm not. No, is it good?
No,
every 10, hopefully.
Our dream will be 300 marking on
that's 10.
3,000 kilometers. So it's one every 10. So it's like 2 panels to see a day. And that is our dream. Maybe it will be less, maybe it will not be perfectly every 20 kilometers, because we need to get some authorization, and sometimes we are going to have a lot of authorization in one region, and in another region it's going to be harder. A lot of places are natural protect, so we will not be able to mark it, but it will still have sign to indicate direction. But yeah, that's between 100 and 300. It's our plan for this first year.
Yeah. So you cannot count on the marking to do the HexaTrek. What you can count on is the marking of the GR and all the other trails in France that have their own markings, and you can always follow that, and you will not get lost. In general, it's very hard to get lost in France because the trails are extremely good, extremely well marked, extremely well maintained. Like the volunteers who are dealing with that in France are doing a remarkable job. So that's something that you can count on, is that even if your cell phone is dead, you will not be dead, because you will always find a way to find your way back. So don't worry about that. But the trail will not be marked by the HexaTrek. Definitely, it's just one every 10 kilometers. That's just to take selfies. That's just, and we want all the selfies. We want all the selfies because we're proud of it. How to get a visa longer than 3 months? So it depends where you come from in the world. That's the most difficult question to answer. Some countries will have easier ways to get a visa. Some countries will have more difficult ways to get a visa. But basically, you will have to apply for a long stay visa, which is one form, unless you are young and you can manage to get a working visa, but it's also something else. In general, let's say if you're above 35, you will have to apply for this visa. Depending on where you come from in the world, it can be very difficult. There is a political aspect to it. For example, if you're Russian right now, it's kind of complicated to get a visa. I know that from my Russian friends.
I'm
And
just cutting you to that is for all the people that is outside of Schengen zone.
oh yeah, of course.
Because
Yeah.
I know that right now it have a lot of people that is coming from Germany,
Yeah.
that is coming. An open question about UK, but we can discuss about that after. But the long stay visa is mainly for the people that is outside of Europe.
Yeah, definitely. But I thought it went without saying that if you're European, well done, congratulations, you're coming without any problem, and nobody cares. So yeah, I mean, if you're from Schengen,
But
obviously
maybe
it
from
makes
UK will be something
Yeah,
that I know a lot of people
UK's a
are coming
problem.
from. Yeah, we
UK
can
is a
discuss
problem.
about that during the Q&A. Maybe it has some.
Yeah. But so in general, you have to apply. You have to apply 3 months prior. So you have to start thinking about it right now. And it's impossible to say if you will be accepted or not. I know that, for example, if you want to have a visa for the US, it's helping you if you want to say that you are going the Appalachian Trail or something like that, because it's quite famous and a lot of people are applying for that. I know I got mine very easily for that. But in France, it's not famous yet. So when you say the reason is you want to hike a long trail for the first edition, it might be a little bit difficult. Just be mindful of that and take a lot of time to apply for it, and really start to plan right now, because it's a very important thing.
We did an article on our website. We can share it again on Discord with all the link in order to apply.
I'm putting that in discussion feed.
It's again just for long-term visa. Maybe you just want to hike 3 months, and that you will have a touristic Schengen visa that will allow you with no difficulty at all. It's not if I just arrive on the ground and you will have it for touristic purpose. And in 3 months, you can already do a lot of the HexaTrek.
Yes.
As you can maybe do the HexaTrek entirely.
If you're one of those, yes.
If you are 30 kilometers a day with not so much resting day, so if you are 40 kilometers a day with a 1 day rest every week, it's manageable.
Yeah, it is going to be a sportive one, and also by law in France, you have to take 2 hours to eat. That's the law. So every day you have to break for 2 hours just to eat, and you have to eat the entire 2 hours. So and you take the dessert and take the coffee. Anyway, so just check your personal situation. It's kind of complicated. We can just point in the right directions to apply, but then after that, it's out of our hands.
Yeah, we're not legal experts, but obviously we're more than welcome to help out as much as we can. We've got a bit of information from what we know ourselves, but we're not, depending on everybody's situation, what country you're in, how long you want to stay, what's your plans before, after, all that kind of stuff. Your mileage may vary, again, but feel free to drop us a message, or there's the article that Thomas has just posted.
Yeah, and if you have a review on how it went for you as well, it's very important for us to know for the next years, because the HexaTrek is obviously there for a long time, and the more data we have, the better it is. So if you can just help us with a little review after that, that's actually fantastic, guys. If we know who got a visa, who didn't, and that kind of things, it can be very helpful. Finally, the equipment and the physical condition. Now, the equipment, if you are already familiar with long-distance hiking, you know that the weight is everything. Just lighten your load as much as possible. Don't take anything that you don't need. Again, we wrote an entire article about it, about the equipment. But basically, you need the big three. You need the tent, you need the shoes, and you need the backpack. This is the main ones. And then after that, you need a sleeping system and everything to be absolutely independent during the trail, because you cannot count only on hotels and cabins. A lot of them are there, but you cannot rely only on them. So a tent is mandatory. Basically, you have to be able to handle any situation on your own, and not be stressed about it. Also, be mindful that even if it's the summer, especially the summer in the south is very, very warm, you're still in the mountains. And for example, when I was hiking in the Pyrenees and I did a bit of the GR10, which is the long crossing of the Pyrenees, last summer I had -4 for a night at 3,000 meters, and around 4 at 2,500 where I actually slept. So it's getting cold. It's getting cold in the mountains. Be ready to be cold. So even if you will be very warm the rest of the time, in the night it's important to have a good sleep, to have a very efficient sleeping system, especially against the cold. That's going to really ruin your night otherwise, and ruin your rest. And the physical condition. That's good because we are talking about a sport that is mainly done by elderlies. So yeah, be like an elderly is good enough. So basically, you don't need to be an athlete. You don't need to be to hit the gym for 3 months before just to be ready. You can go as long as you can walk and you can carry your load. This is very important. The load is more important than the physical condition. Most of it will be in your brain. The really hard part is being absolutely destroyed at the end of a night, having a cold night on a bad mattress, and hating everything in the morning, and knowing you have to pack everything and start to walk again on this backpack that is murdering your shoulders, and your blisters are popping inside of your shoes, and your socks are wet. Everything is horrible. Then it's just in the brain. It's just a question of motivation. It's just a question of wanting to go further and not wanting to quit. So mental is everything. You really have to think about can you do it mentally, and the body will follow. The body will follow. You're going to make your own legs. We call it the trail legs. You're going to make your own legs the first day of walking, especially if you're doing a sobo, because you have quite a long time to do your legs. Although, if you have difficulties to walk now, obviously it's going to be more difficult. So be in the good shape to walk, I think, is. But I think it goes without saying because you're going for a hike. So you're going to walk. So if you cannot walk in the city, you're not going to magically be able to walk on the mountains. So just be in average condition is enough. I started my hike, my through hike, when I was 10 kilograms more than I should, and I didn't hit the gym for 6 months. So I was a big blob, and I just did it. So it's definitely possible. The amount of suffering you can endure is more important than the actual physical condition. You're going to suffer. It's going to be horrible, but it's going to be wonderful when you have the wine and the saucisson. Yes,
Yeah.
Kevin.
In addition, just I think the only thing, because all the trail are just hiking trail. It's not
Yeah.
alpinism. It's not extreme stuff. It's always hiking trail. So everybody know how to walk. I hope. And I remember when I was hiking the PCT, the first 5 days I was walking 20 kilometers a day, and after 2 months hiking, I was walking 60 kilometers a day with no problem. Because when you just do that, no point of walking 60 kilometers a day, but your body will adapt. The only thing that can block you, I think, is correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas, fear of emptiness. No, peur du vide, the
Yeah.
vertige.
Yeah.
Vertigo.
Vertigo, yeah.
Vertigo. Okay, because we have some
Sections.
portion where you are in high mountain, and if you really have hard vertigo, yeah, that can stop you.
There's several sections of the trail that are basically pretty exposed. So say it's a windy day, or if you don't like heights or anything like that, you could have like 150 meters on your left side, 150 meters on the right side, or more. Those will be marked on the trail app, so you will be forewarned, and you can avoid them if you're not into that sort of stuff. Don't be afraid to turn back. I'm not a fan of heights myself, so I might be considering that when I see it in real life. I don't know. But yeah.
As I show on the mobile app, it will be a great point that says this section that is gonna happen. It's a difficult section. It has 7 sections like this in the total of the 3,000 kilometers, and it's very small section. So we find a alternative itinerary if needed. And especially if you didn't have vertigo, but the conditions are very bad, we advise
Yeah.
you when you arrive to those points to skip this point and just use the alternative. Yes, so that brings me very quickly on something that was important because a lot of you participate to the campaign, and I had to send the knife and the hat, which are gonna be collector because I did this logo myself at the beginning of the project, and now we change everything. So I order all that stuff with the old logo, but you will have something collector and unique. And everything is now packed right now at the right of the screen. You can see my apartment. I'm living in a 20-meter square, and the package are taking 10-meter square right now. So Monday, I'm gonna send everything. I just finished today to pack everything, to pack the 600 package. I didn't knew that the campaign will have this success, and I didn't knew that I will have to do that. But I was promising in December, and I had a problem with the knife, penury of lack of stuff with wood and steel. Anyway, right now everything is packed and everything is gonna be sent Monday, and it will take for international package 1 to 2 weeks to arrive. But if you didn't receive anything at the end of February, that it means that it have a problem. So beginning of March, if you didn't receive anything, just send me a message and I will check what happened. And that's all for the presentation. Oh, we did it in less than 1 hour. We planned 1 hour. Congratulations,
Yeah, that's pretty
everybody.
good. That's pretty good. I don't know if you want to go straight to the Q&A or if William, you want to add a few things.
I mean, I think everything's pretty much covered.
All right.
I've got all the questions that you guys been asking on Discord, so I'm going to go through everything rather quickly, and then we'll have the little live Q&A session at the end.
Because we're losing people, we're bleeding people right now.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't
if people
matter.
want
Everything's recorded.
Okay, good. It's just so that they have the time to ask the question they want.
All right, so the first question that I've got is from Pascal Backer, 1975, who was asking when the GPX is going to be available. The GPX is going to be available in about 2 weeks. We're still working on it right now. Kevin's still working on it. But yeah, in approximately 2 weeks' time, it's going to be made available. You were also asking about the do's and don'ts of bivouac in France. So Thomas did mention it a bit earlier about where you're allowed to, where you're not allowed to, what's the general rule. As a general rule of thumb, bivouacking in France means putting your tent up when the sun goes down and removing your tent, dismantling your tent when the sun comes up in the morning. So basically, approximately 7 till 7. That's the sort of general rule. It depends in which regional park you are, depends on which national park you are, but generally speaking, it's going to be sundown, put your tent up, sunrise, put your tent down. There you go. As for what you do, you try and leave no trace as much as possible. Obviously, we're going to try and we've got a chart that we're going to try and introduce regarding leave no trace principles, being a clean camper, carrying out your rubbish, digging cat holes, all that kind of stuff. Those are things that we're going to establish, but obviously they're very important to us to try and use other people's bivouac where somebody's been before, to try and avoid too much erosion and too much wear and tear on the trail. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, we do have the article in French on our website about bivouac. But yeah, I think the main thing to remember is...
It's not in English yet?
You what, sorry?
It's not in English?
It's not in English yet, no.
I thought we translated it.
Is it?
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
We thought we translated it.
No, that's my bad.
Well,
So yeah, anyway.
people is coming.
All right. So Nigel, you had some questions about resupply options. So hopefully you saw the app demonstration earlier on. So you'll see that the resupply, basically the maximum section that you're going to carry is about 5 days. We're not 100% sure because it depends on factors, depends on weather, depends on how fast you are, all that kind of stuff. But on average, you're not going to have to expect to do the same long distance carries as you do on some other international trails, such as the PCT. Nigel was also asking about hiking keto options. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that. Keto?
Oh, keto.
Keto
Options. Oh, geez, man. No. I did the keto diet for a little while. That's going to be very difficult. I'm not even sure that cheese is keto. If cheese is keto, yeah, you're good.
Hard cheese apparently is okay. Hard cheese is okay.
If cheese is not keto, you're going to suffer tremendously. But then again, it's going to be difficult for you if you have, but I think it's the same for every trail in the world. If you have a very special diet, if you're vegan, if you're keto, if you're whatever, the options you will find in the mountains are limited. If you go in the supermarket, it's going to be okay, but options in the mountains are limited, as well as the restaurant. You will not find a keto restaurant in a mountain hut. You're going to have garbure, which is a very heavy kind of soup. You're going to have, if you're lucky, tartiflette. You're going to have maybe a fondue or two, but yeah, no, I don't. It's going to be hard to be keto. It's going to be hard to be keto.
From what I was reading online, it was nuts, cured meats, cheese, peanut butter, and eggs. And for all those things, you can usually find them in small village stores. The big one that you seem to be missing out in my case is bread, but hey, you know, definitely cured meats. There's plenty of cured meats in France, especially in the south. Cheese, there's plenty of cheese. Peanut butter's available pretty much everywhere. Eggs likewise, and mixed nuts are all right as well.
I'm not sure for peanut butter though in the mountain.
Yeah, no, it's hard. Yeah. it's gonna be hard to
Yeah,
find.
I think it's difficult to find. It's because peanut butter is not very popular in France. It's not something that we see. Like for example, if you compare to the US has peanut butter in literally anything. In here, we don't have so much peanut butter. You will find more Nutella that you will find peanut butter, but the nutritional value is not the same. So I would
The
not
thing
count on the
with
peanut
food,
butter so much. Hmm?
the thing with food in France, it's you are gonna cross 9 different regions, and in every
Yeah.
region you will find different kind of food and different kind of culture. So I think you will have to prepare for the unprepared because you are gonna change maybe your diet, especially except if you really have a strict diet. But if you just follow the stream, you will eat differently region by region.
And again, keto, as far as I'm concerned, I think was to maintain your weight or something like that. Because I did that for this reason. You're going to hike. You're going to burn so much calorie a day that you could eat all the cheese you can find and humanly possibly can eat. You would still stay thin and even lose weight. So that should be okay. But then again, everybody is free to do what they want. Just it's going to be more difficult as the options are more limited. You are not in a city most of the time. So yeah, be mindful of that if you have a very restricted diet. And then again, it's France. We have amazing products. So a cheat day once in a while.
I know that like the refuges and all that kind of sort of alpine things, when you make your booking, when you reserve a few days in advance, if you mention that you're a vegetarian or you've got specific dietary requirements, they're usually quite accommodating for that. But they like being warned a few days in advance.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I'd keep in mind. When you do make your call, do mention if you eat specific diets. The next question from Nigel was about potential hazards foreseen with increased numbers en route. So very important because obviously the scope of HexaTrek has increased massively over the past few months. So the increased hazards that we've foreseen, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because obviously we're a new association, it's a new trail, we want to sort of boom as much as possible, we want people to talk about us, we want to grow, we want all that sort of hype stuff that people enjoy these days, but we also want to try and maintain a straight environmental conscience on the program and develop partnerships with the landowners, with the different communes, with the different town halls and all these things that we're crossing throughout France. So it's a double-edged sword in the sense that we like the fact that there's more people, but it's also meaning there's more pressure on doing things well. So it is definitely something that I wouldn't say worried about, but we're cautious about how we're doing it. We're trustworthy in the fact that the community this year is overwhelmingly going to be people that have already got through hiking experience and that sort of know what they're doing. And generally speaking, hikers are chilled people anyway, pretty respectful, enjoy nature, but it's definitely something that we take seriously. And yeah, as I was saying a bit earlier, we will be talking about environmental impact, and what we recommend to be a good hiker, basically. Leave no trace principles and a lot of things that I was talking about earlier. There's another question from Gareth O about paper maps. Buying the paper maps for the HexaTrek. So I went onto the IGN, which is the Institut Géographique National, which is the sort of general map making ordnance survey equivalent in France. They make all the maps, they edit all the maps. If you wanted to buy the paper copies for the whole of the HexaTrek, it's about 50 different maps that you'd have to buy. So I'll leave that one up to you, Gareth, if you want to do it or not. But 50 maps in your rucksack, that sounds like pretty much a full pack, to be honest. So it's not really doable.
No, you don't need it.
You don't need it. The app's got you covered.
I think what you can do, it's on our website we have like you can, as William said, in 2 weeks we are gonna release the GPX, but you can already go on Google Maps and see on our website the trail, and just zoom in and maybe take 4 print screen just to see the big city and having this map very zoom out, just in case, just having this paper in your backpack can help if you are in lack of battery or if your telephone broke, just to know where to go. But the detailed map will be too big, 3,000 kilometers.
And we don't have the HexaTrek mapped on any physical map for the moment. So if you try to just hang on to your map in case you have a problem to find the HexaTrek, you will not find it on a physical map. It will have all the other trails, but not the HexaTrek specifically. You could buy it in advance and just with a pen do like we used to do in the 50s when I wasn't born, to go in the middle of France. But apart from that, you will not find it already pre-made. Maybe in the future, that's something that we're thinking about, because of course physical maps are still important. But for this first edition, it seems like a lot of weight for not a lot of reasons. So outside of I don't know, nostalgia.
Well, some people just prefer the paper medium, and it's also, it's got that sort of physical value.
That's what I said, nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia. It depends.
I mean, I'm a hipster. I have a freaking typewriter, so I know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, so basically there are definitely maps, and you can definitely put all the GR, the Grande Randonnée together to work out what it is. That's what we've done. That's what the HexaTrek is. But yeah, that'd be, it's about 50. About 50 was a quick maths calculation that I did on their map. So that's it. And that's it for my questions. That's the ones that I received from the community. I hope I didn't miss out on any. But,
yeah, if you're on the chat right now and you've been boiling to ask us a question since the beginning, you can unmute yourself.
Firstly.
I'm going to unmute Mimi Air so that everybody has a fighting chance. If you want to ask a question right now, please unmute yourself and take the floor. Pascal wants to cut it. Pascal is in panic mode. Or you can also raise your hand in the discussion feed if you want to, if you don't know how to really interrupt because you've been raised.
I wouldn't make things too
complicated. I have a
question.
Question. Richard from Sweden. Hi.
Hey, Richard. How are you doing?
Just something quick on water.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you want to know about water?
You covered pretty well how to find food and how often. So how can I expect finding water, and do I have to treat it, and how's that going to work?
So we don't have as many lakes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be exactly the same on the mobile apps and the resupply. You will find a blue dot, and I have actually a lot. I have 800 points of water in the app. So on 3,000 kilometers, is something like one every 5 kilometers. And sometime it will have a stretch where for 20 kilometers you will not find water. But we put on the map all the stream, the natural stream. We say stream, source.
Yeah,
sources.
Streams, sources.
Natural spring. Also, all the fountain that are available in small villages where people are used to fill their water bottle. And we complete by river and lake. And that is three different types. And the type for river, honestly, me, when I'm upper than 2,000 meter elevation, I'm just drinking the water. But if you want to use a filter, you are more than welcome to do it. And you can also boil the water. But generally in France, you will see all the places where you can, on the map, you can see, on the mobile app, you can see all the places where you can resupply water, and water are pretty good in mountain.
I would just add that yes, you can drink almost any water in France. I still bring a filter just in case, because sometimes you're not sure, and it's not worth shitting for 3 days. Just over, like a lazy moment of not filtering your water. Boiling the water is not very energy efficient, especially with all the filters you can find in France. You will never find something that the filter cannot filter. It's relatively pure. It's just mental safety to just filter it on top. But yeah, that's true. Most of the streams are going to be
in some areas, obviously in the Alps and the Pyrenees and stuff like that, it is farmland where there's sheep or cows or cattle or whatever in the summer months. So that's something that you want to watch out. Is if you're in a field, then obviously watch out. You want to filter or boil or both of them at that stage. But in most cases, it's high mountains and it's fine.
But you won't die of thirst. You will stay hydrated.
Plenty of water.
Don't worry.
Fantastic. Great. Quick last one. Bugs. Inner for 10. Can I go without?
Oh, that's the question that I'm asking myself right now. I don't know. I wouldn't. There's a lot of flies up in the hills in the summer months, especially when talking about cattle and stuff like that. There's a lot of insects about. There isn't anything that bad in France. Like obviously there's mosquitoes, but in the hills it tends to be pretty windy. So unless you're in somewhere that's really sheltered, that can become a problem. I am asking myself the question right now, and I don't know the answer. It depends on which area.
You just answered mine.
Yeah.
You can definitely go without.
You can definitely go without. I'd say the one thing that I'd watch out for is in northeastern France, we've got ticks. If you've got those in Sweden, I think as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then it's like mosquitoes, slugs, and flies. I mean, flies are going to be the main annoyance. So realistically, nothing bad. Nothing bad.
Right.
Well,
Great.
nothing
Oh,
bad.
horse flies. You get horse flies, but they're not that much of a
Everything
problem.
gross,
Horse flies, yeah.
nothing bad.
Well, flies can be pretty annoying, so that's
Yeah,
a
but usually see them
concern. Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, you have a lot of horse flies actually, especially in the Pyrenees.
All right. We have a few mosquitoes, so I'm pretty used to them, but flies can bug the crap out of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you sound like quite a mountain warrior, buddy. So I think you'll be fine. Nothing can really stress you out in here.
Sounds great. Thanks. It's awesome. I'm so happy for this.
Good.
Cool.
Thank you, Richard.
Happy. And anybody else? I see Mjoto is getting lighting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, hi, I'm Emily, also from Sweden.
Oh.
And I was wondering, what are the possibilities? Because I think I will need to use probably 2 or maybe 3 pair of shoes, for example. So how will it be possible to get shoes? Is there some way I can send it?
Yeah, prepare in advance. So you will find shoes in some small villages, but the choice is very limited, extremely limited, I would say. And if you are used to one kind of pair, because if you are already thinking about that, I think you want trail runners. If you want trail runners, it means that you are already kind of loyal on one trail runner kind of pair. And I mean, I'm the same. We're the same. We are one of those people. So those people should buy 3 pairs in advance and have somebody that is nice enough to send you a pair when you need. You can send it to Poste Restante, so that means it will stay in the post office for up to 2 weeks. So you can in advance think, I will be there in the 2 weeks coming, so I can send it there. Or you can send it to a hotel, to a hostel, to some kind of place with email with an address. And if you like make a reservation in advance, you call them on the phone and you say, hey, can I send a package? They will say yes, and then the package is going to wait for you. But it's 2 weeks maximum, so be mindful of that. You cannot send it now and wait forever to get it. So buy them in advance, and then have somebody nice enough to send it to you.
Okay, perfect. I have another question as well. It's about the first section. So that is not the high mountain section. What is the nature? Will it be a lot of like road walk, or is it still nature, or how is the first section?
That is actually where William is living, so I think he can answer.
So yeah, the Vosges, they're not hills in the same way that the Alps or the Pyrenees are hills, all right? So the Vosges are some of the oldest hills on planet Earth, geologically speaking. It's an old mountain chain. Anyway, I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but they're very old mountains. There's an amazing amount of history and culture, like castles and stuff like that. The sort of nature, the sort of walks that you're going to be on is mostly forest track. So it's Gers, so it's either some of them are sort of like four personal breadth sort of things, but some of them are forest tracks where there can be like 4x4s from the National Forest Office, but they're not like driving roads. There's a very, very small amount of tarmac from having done most of the hike myself in that section. It's very nice. It's some nice rolling hills, nice gradual. It's a perfect warm up to start your hike and make sure that you're nice fighting fit for the Alps. But yeah, very nice hills. Obviously, loads of culture, loads of food, all the good stuff that you come to France to visit for. I'd highly recommend the Vosges from start to finish. But obviously, I'm biased, completely biased.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and just to complete that, because the first section is Vosges and also Jura, and in order to link Vosges and Jura, that is the only part of this section that is not the most beautiful part. It's 60 kilometers, and on those 60 kilometers, it will be mainly road, but except of that, it will be 90% of the time in the forest, and it's going to be on hiking trail.
And I have to add that the Jura is making the best cheese in France, and therefore the best cheese in the world, Le Comté. So you cannot miss that section, because you need to eat Comté in France. Because if you don't eat Comté in France, why the hell are you in France? It's just like really. So no, it's a beautiful section.
Please be considerate for lactose intolerant people.
Yeah, I am. It's worth dying.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't want to miss any section. I'm really looking forward to do the entire trek.
If my time was limited, if my time was extremely limited and I only had like say 2 months, 3 months, I would skip the first 800 and start at the Lac Léman, do the Alps and do the Pyrenees, because that first
Wow.
800 kilometers in the Vosges, it's really nice. It's a nice chilled walk. You're in Alsace, you're in the Vosges. I mean, you're not in Alsace, but you're on the border of Alsace. It's a fantastic region, extremely rich, lots of culture if you like doing that sort of stuff.
I was really not picturing you saying that, man. I was really picturing you
I know,
saying
right?
if I had
No,
to choose
but-
one section,
so-
Les Vosges,
be mine.
forever Vosges.
They're nice chilled mountains. They're just really nice atmospheric mountains. I don't know what it's like. What would it be like? Yeah, the Jura sort of pre-alpine, but the Vosges it's very much within 1,000-meter altitude, up and down, rolling hills. The more you get to the south,
Yeah.
the more it gets properly hilly. But definitely the northern Vosges is very. It's just nice walking. You can cover large distances in a day. Very large distances. Yeah.
And me that is in the team of the walking northbound, I will have the advantage of ending by this section in autumn. And I think it's the most beautiful places in France in autumn because in October, all those forests are completely in a lot of color and it's very beautiful and very féerique.
C'est féerique.
All right. Do we
Well,
have any other questions?
Malt had an hesitation. Safa has an hesitation.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Safa!
Hello.
Hi everyone. I'm Safa is my trail name, or Kath. I hiked the Te Araroa last year, and I would love to come to France for the start of this track. And I'm sorry I joined quite late, so maybe you've answered this question already. But is there going to be a few questions? Is there going to be like a start date for a group of you starting? I don't know any French, and it would be great to hike with someone.
So,
Hello, Saf, I think it was you that write to me on Instagram this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's now
nice.
morning in New Zealand.
Nice, yeah,
Kia
but
ora.
it will have a group that's gonna follow me. Not exactly, but we call that the Pioneer Walk, and we divide the trail in 16 sections, and in every section is gonna have a group of 6 people that's just gonna hike a week, and me, I'm gonna hike entirely. I'm gonna try the HexaTrek, and I'm gonna just hike during 1 week with all those people. So that is a group that is going to be managed by myself. But after that, all the people that want to thru-hike the HexaTrek, we open this Discord group in order to allow people to talk between each other and maybe find hiking partner. It will not have an official starting date. I'm going to start 15 June from south, but everybody can start whenever they want in the direction they want, and they can use Discord in order to find another hiking partner. And in any way, we are going to be a lot on the HexaTrek, and at one moment you are going to see someone and the group is going to create by himself. But you can use Discord in order to prepare the ground and start discussing with other people and find hiking partner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you did the TA, then you're well aware of like how a trail family creates itself, and it's sort of a natural process. We try to facilitate that with the creation of this Discord. We know it's not the ideal solution, so don't hesitate in sending your message twice if you don't get an answer or when you get close to the dates of your departure. But yeah, there's no specific date. Do it whenever you want. As you know, for the TA, there's that sort of month where there's like 6 or 10 departures a day during the high hiking season. That's what we expect it to be on the HexaTrek. So we don't want everybody to concentrate at the same periods of time. We want to sort of spread the weight all throughout France as much as possible. So yeah, whenever you want, basically.
and,
But yeah.
I will add just 2 things. You don't need to speak French in order to hike the HexaTrek. This is something that is very important to say. You will find some people that speak English. Actually, when I say some people, it's a lot of people. Young people, they speak English, no problem. If you are in a shop, no worries. You will manage to say whatever you want to say. You will not die if you not speak French. People will not throw rocks at you, and they will not mock you in a very high, posh accent. Don't you worry. Just smile your way through, and it will be just all fine. And second of all, you're going to find a lot of people on the trails already. Even if you don't want to find people, you might find people, because on top of the HexaTrek, we have other long-distance hikes in France. We have the GR10, we have the GR5, we have a lot of other trails like that, and you have people hiking those as well. So maybe you will not find a trail family for the entire one, but you might find people to follow you for some sections, and naturally the groups will form. So don't you worry about that, and don't you worry about not knowing French. Just learn the 3 basic words like bonjour, au revoir, merci, and you will be golden.
Fromage et vin.
Fromage, pain, vin, saucisson.
Omelette du fromage.
Yeah. Just don't worry. This is also one of the reasons we're doing this. It's also that people from outside of France can realize that France is not just the Porsche country that hates foreigners that everybody thinks. This is Paris. The rest of the country is chill about it. And the younger generations, they speak English, so don't worry. It's not just a hating place.
I wouldn't be so 100% confident that everybody in a small village is going to speak English.
They won't, but they will try. They will be like, yes, come. No, oui. Stuff like that. That's you can expect that with the hand gesture.
If it's anything specific, then it's always worth like taking pictures with your smartphone and then showing it on your screen or whatever. Just
that
pointing, mimicking.
Also, take a SIM card when you arrive. This is quite important because you will need and we have very good network in France. So take a SIM card, and then you can point things. Anyway, so don't worry. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, maybe you can even download Google Translate, if I'm not mistaken. You can download it for offline. You can download like the French dictionary, something like that.
Yeah.
So it should work offline, which is better than nothing. Might get you out of a pinch.
Yes, sorry, Safa, you wanted to say something?
More technical question. Do you know what the vertical gain on the whole hike is?
136,000.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you. We worked a lot on that one.
I can modify the GPX if you want more. I can add 1 or 2 mountains.
Yeah, we can circle around in some mountains just to make some elevation.
So yeah, that's more than the TA, and it's about 15 times Mount Everest, just for reference purposes. So it's more than the PCT on half the distance. Or it's the same amount as the PCT, but on half the distance.
Yeah, so it's going to be good on the calves.
Great. And then the last question, because I joined when I heard you guys talking about the cheese and stuff. I am vegan, and I'm definitely not going to compromise this. So it would be sad if I had to miss the opportunity to hike the track. And you think this is not going to work out?
You can always survive on bread. I mean, it's still possible. No, you will find ways to eat. It's just that you're not going to dive deep, because most of the specialties in France involve cheese products or animal products.
Animal products, yeah.
Yeah, I think it will not change anything. You are coming from New Zealand?
I'm from New Zealand. I'm in New Zealand now, but I'm from South Africa.
Okay. Well, I think I spent a year in New Zealand, and you will find not the same products, but at least if you manage to find what was suitable for you for hiking the Terra, you will find at least the same basic need on the trail, like pasta, rice, and all that stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll survive.
Yeah. The thing, basically, if you've got a specific diet, it will take a bit more self-organization. However, once you've done that organization, please give us some feedback, because I'm sure there'll be hikers in the future will be wanting to know the same things. So we're not vegans ourselves, so we don't really know. To my imagination, there will be options. You are?
Well, I was 7 years.
You were,
Pacific Crest Trail.
Yeah, in the States.
I was needed protein.
Yeah, you're a quitter. That's different.
But yeah, so basically I'd say if you're booking your nights in the refuges and all that kind of stuff that's going to be mapped out in the apps, make sure that you mention that you've got a specific diet, that you're vegan, because they might be one of the awkward ones to
that might be difficult, because
they'll definitely have veggie.
Is not so veggie is probably they have always a veggie option, but the vegan option is. I think it will be difficult in the mountain huts. It's very specific, and they don't see a lot of people from the cities there. So yeah, that's sometimes difficult to come by. But anyway, you will find food. Don't worry. I mean, again, bread is excellent, and is everywhere, so you can try that.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Can I just pop on to another diet question? Because
Yay!
I love cheese and meat, but I am allergic to gluten. So bread is no option.
Yeah, that's
How
good.
is it with gluten-free options in France?
You can find some gluten-free bread that exists. If you have a bakery, there is probably an option of a gluten-free bread in the bakery. If you find a small shop, you're probably if it's a small shop, no. But if it's a casino or some kind of branded shop, you will find gluten-free options for your carbs. Otherwise, just eat more cheese. What can I say? I mean, it's just like just
Yeah,
load yourself.
I think 5 years ago it will have been a nightmare, but since few years now,
Yeah, it became very popular.
gluten-free possibility are everywhere.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank
No
you.
worries. No worries. You'll survive. Anybody else who want to ask about food and make me hungry?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was just thinking, what am I eating?
No, I just want bread and cheese, and I have none of that in here because I'm in freaking Brussels.
You've got beer
Anybody?
at least.
Any other questions? Well, if
We
there is no
answer
more
everything.
question, okay. Malt maybe is trying something, or just fiddling with the microphone. I don't know. Probably fiddling with the microphone. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining on this conversation. We're really happy to see non-French people in here. We're really excited. We really had a HexaTrek in mind, mostly to allow people to discover France differently. That was really like a thing. Crossing the country by foot is just insane, and if you don't know France, you're going to learn a lot about it during your crossing, and you're going to see stuff that most people won't. So we're very excited to see people, English-speaking people, being interested in this hike. If you have any other question, feel free to shoot us a message. If you're too shy to say it publicly, you can shoot us a DM. But otherwise, don't hesitate to engage with other people, especially if you're trying to find some hiking partners. You will find other people who are like-minded, and this group is made for that. So don't hesitate, really. And I don't think we have a next audio session for the moment that is planned, but we might do others.
I mean, it was our first try. So we did the French version. We were a lot of people for the French version a week ago, and we did this one in English. But it still left 4 months, exactly 4 months. Ah no, that is my date. Sorry, but in today it's the birthday of the. In 4 months exactly, I'm gonna start HexaTrek. And we still have a lot of time to organize. I think we are not going to do that every month, but when we are going to arrive closer to the departing date, people will know, we will know better the snow condition. People will know better when they want to start. It's going to be maybe easier for people to find hiking partner. So we are going to organize another call for sure. And we have this Discord group in order to stay in contact. And I will send you all the package. And if you didn't receive anything, we can still get in contact and so on.
All right, I think we'll leave it at that.
And I'm in a hurry to see you, whatever you start from south or to north. I'm in a hurry to see you one day on the trail.
Yeah, we're all going to hike the trail this year. I'm going solo, so we're going to meet in the trail with Kevin even. So we're going to probably cross a lot of you, and you will easily recognize us. We will have beret, because we are that much of cliches, but we're going to hike in berets because that's what we do. So anyway, thank you very much for coming here tonight.
Yeah, thanks everybody for participating. Thanks for everybody who posts stuff on Discord and all that kind of stuff. And see you hopefully on the trail in not too long.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ciao.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.